What the f***? I see more benefit in the recruit. So, originally this video was supposed to be coming out yesterday, but actually I went to my laptop to get all my game capture footage down, and my computer totally fucking broke on me, so I lost all my footage and whatnot. So I had to get a new laptop, a new gameplay footage, and all that good stuff. So this is why it's delayed a day. But anyway, I know a lot of you guys have been requesting my philosophy videos as well, and those are going to be coming back. I'm going to start those up hopefully on Tuesday or Wednesday. We'll see. But anyway, my name is Dom, and this is the Wildlands Tips. This is Wildlands Tips for the Disruptor. Now first I gotta get it right out of the way that the Disruptor is kind of like a double-edged sword, I feel like this character is probably one of the most difficult characters to actually use effectively. So let me tell you why. I was playing a lot with the Disruptor, and I know what it's like to get disrupted by motherfuckers, right? That's really all he's got. He's got 3 frag grenades, a TAR-21, and an LMG as his, his second primary option. I really don't use the LMG. I think the TAR-21 works fine. I think it's a good gun. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. I think it shreds people rather nicely. Anyway, so his main ability, right, is he gets that little white area around him on the map, and that basically disrupts the HUDs on other enemy players. So, their heads-up display, so their mini-map and all that stuff goes away. It kind of makes it a little bit confusing for them. Honestly, I think the Disruptor is very, very, very situational. It's almost impossible to know exactly how people are going to react when they see the Disruptor. So, for instance, when someone walks up to me and they're a Disruptor, I'm not marked or anything, I'm in a building, and then I get disrupted all of a sudden, what I do is I basically stop. I become stoned, and I'm just kind of listening. I'm listening for this fucker because he's searching in the area or he's moving or something, right? The Disruptor is on the enemy team, right? So, and you're going to know now that he's around you. You know that this guy is around you. So he basically just gave you free intel. He basically just said, hey, I'm near you. So, that's the biggest freaking problem I have with this guy, is he's giving the enemy team free fucking intel. He's just walking up and saying, hey, here I am. I am in the area. Please stop and look for me. That's what he's doing. Or people might try to get out of there, run away, but that doesn't really happen. I've noticed that often when I play with Disruptor, people just kind of stop and they look for me. Now, unless you know for sure that someone is in a building and then you approach that building to try to disrupt the people that are in there, and then a couple of you guys swarm it, that's where it can be somewhat beneficial. In case one of you gets marked, or in case one of yours firing, it can really throw them off when they're disrupted and they're being fucked with. But otherwise, there's no point. If he could turn... Okay, so here's how I think they can make this character better. Is if anyone that was in his little circle of disruption got marked, that might be a little overpowered, I was thinking. But it would make the character... It would make him make more sense. He would make more sense if that's the way he was built. But then also... Maybe they could give him a drone so then he could do some scouting of his own, find people, so then he can go fuck with them. I don't even know, but I think the character is incredibly underwhelming. If you disagree with me, please let me know, because I have absolutely no way of playing with this character to make him super viable, to say he is the best option for this type of gameplay. I just don't see it. The most effective way that I could figure out how to play with him is I played real defensive at first, kind of let the other enemy team get settled, have my scout go up, scout as many people as they can, and then if I find somebody, if I know where somebody's at, I'll go in and disrupt, and then we'll kind of swarm them and pick them off. But honestly, I think there's better alternatives. Seriously, if you know somebody's in a building, throw fucking flashbang in there. And that's going to do way more than I will with my Disruptor abilities. That's all I got going for me. And it's almost a hindrance, because if I'm sitting there, and let's say I am playing that defensive game style, people come up and they're rushing, they're pushing real hard, they're going to get disrupted, and then by the process of elimination, let's say I'm in a building and they're walking down the road, they're walking on from the forest or something, they get disrupted. Process of elimination tells them almost exactly where I'm at, because they know that this guy has to be near me, like somewhat, in the area. They can look down the street, they can look in the bushes, they see, he's probably not over there, he might be in the bushes or something, but He's probably in one of these buildings. That's right there. You can figure out where I'm at. And it really sucks because when they know where I'm at, I don't know where they're at. And that's my ability. That's my ability telling them where I'm at. That just doesn't make any fucking sense. I think that when people walk into his Disruptor thing, they need to get marked. Honestly, maybe it's a split second mark. Maybe it's one of those that only lasts like 2 seconds. But they need to get marked some way. It just doesn't make any sense that I'm walking around and people will come into my disruption and then they'll know where I'm at, but I won't know where they're at. That doesn't make any fucking sense. And that's what happens a majority of the time. Sometimes I'll push up and I'll be with someone else and we'll go into a building where we know they're at and I'll disrupt and then they'll get messed up, right? But it just doesn't make any fucking sense that I'm basically being hindered by my own ability. And that's all I've got going for me. I only have 3 frag grenades, not even any mines, C4, nothing like that. I got the TAR 21. Awesome. That's it. I think it would make it I basically want to think of this character like a walking SATCOM. Like a walking sentinel SATCOM, right? And people that walk in get marked for a second. But that's not how it is. How it is you're basically... Well, you got a beam around you that tells you where you're at. That tells people where you're at. It's so annoying because it's so easy to counter. It's not like a scout drone where it goes up and it can basically spot you real quick. You can spot the whole team if you're not careful. It's not like even Pathfinder's ability where he walks really quietly and can't set off mines. That's so helpful. It's not like Assassin's ability where you can't get marked unless you're up close. That makes sense. That's awesome. My passive ability basically fucks me if I'm not careful, and that's a real problem that I have with this character. Like, why in the hell would they even do that? This is the only character in the game where I'm sitting here and I'm like, what the fuck? I see more benefit in the recruit. And again, the most effective playstyle I found with him is basically just playing defensive at first and then just kind of pushing up slowly once you get an idea of where the team's at. But again, the issue is, let's say you think someone's in a building, you go up there and they are in that building, you're not going to know. You're going to disrupt them, and then you're not going to know how they're going to react. If they stay still, you don't know. If they run away, you might be able to hear them. But let's say you go into that building, you're like, okay, well, I didn't hear anything, so I'm going to go in and I'm just going to, make sure. They could be just camping in there. They could just be sitting in there waiting for you. Maybe they know right where you're at because you make a lot of noise. If you didn't make any noise, like the Pathfinder, might be a little bit different, but you do make noise. And people can find you. It's so fucking stupid. I think this is one of the most redundant classes in the game. You're basically fighting an uphill battle whenever you pick him. Now, if you guys really disagree with me, please let me know, and I will reconsider any thoughts if I do get overwhelming support. Maybe you guys can open my eyes about something, about how I'm playing him wrong or whatnot. But other than that, that's really all I got to say for this guy. Don't fucking pick him. That's about it. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a Merry Christmas, and I will see you in the next video.